We're going to continue our road to the Tony series with one of this year's most exciting Broadway revivals. It's called Merrily We Roll Along. The musical, composed by the legendary Stephen Sondheim, was a flop during its initial run back in 1981, but that's changed. It closed after just 16 performances, but now with Daniel Radcliffe. Listen to this cast: Daniel Radcliffe, Jonathan Groff, and Lindsay Mendez. Merrily We Roll Along got new life and 7 Tony nominations. Thank you very much. That includes Radcliffe's very first nod. Anthony, as in Mason, met up with Radcliffe between shows at a cast favorite hangout, the Lambs Club. I love this place, the Lambs Club, before heading back across the street to the Hudson Theater.
This has been home since October?
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you remember the first time you actually walked on a stage?
I did one school play. I did nothing of any note. I was in the background, being an animal. And
What animal were you?
A monkey, I
You were a
believe.
monkey, yes.
Still very castable as that, I feel. And
But us old friends, what's in his skies, old friends?
The kid who played the monkey is now up for a Tony. Daniel Radcliffe stars with Jonathan Groff and Lindsay Mendez in Merrily We Roll Along, the Stephen Sondheim musical about a songwriting duo and their theater critic friend. A revival that's won raves for the trio.
How's it coming? Good, you? Done! 1 minute.
we've lived kind of alongside each other now over the past couple of years. I've had a kid, Lindsay has got married, she's having another baby. Jonathan's seen Beyonce 4 times. It's been a huge time for all of us.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
Once the world's most famous child star, the 34-year-old actor is now a Broadway veteran.
Walk away, blockbuster!
Merrily is Radcliffe's 5th Broadway show, and he's had a place in the city for more than 15 years. What made you want to settle in New York?
I think it is tied into my experience of doing theatre here in a big way. At a time when the rest of the world was being like, you are always going to be Harry Potter, it was like Broadway kind of went like, let's see what else you can do.
In 2008, Radcliffe had just finished his 6th Harry Potter film.
How do you feel?
Excellent.
When he made his Broadway debut at age 19 in Equus, a play about a young man who blinds half a dozen horses. Equus was a pretty bold choice to make at that point in your life and your career.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I think I knew that if I was going to do stage, I couldn't do something that was going to be, like, easy.
You think you were trying to prove anything to yourself or to anybody else?
100%. There's a huge amount of confidence that comes from knowing, because film acting is, wonderful, but you can get bailed out by an editor, your entire career. Editors make performances.
When he was done playing Potter, Radcliffe took another leap, his first Broadway musical. Was that intimidating?
Yes. I think I didn't know quite how intimidating it was going to be.
Director Rob Ashford pushed him to take the lead in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
I remember I said to Rob Ashford, I can carry a tune, but the dancing, I was like, get that out of your head. Like, that's not gonna happen.
But it did.
And I will say, doing the choreography that I've done in that show, if I ever look at that, I do go, I cannot believe I did that. Yeah. I'm still so proud of that. Yeah, Brotherhood Man in that show is one of the proudest things I've ever done.
Radcliffe met his longtime partner, Aaron Dark, here in New York. They're now parents of a 1-year-old. How are you finding being a father?
I love it and him so much. It's indescribable, really.
It must be a lot, though, to have a 1-year-old and be doing, as you are today, 2 shows.
Yeah, it is. 2 show days are particularly hard and sad because I leave in the morning and then he's asleep by the time I get back. And I do feel like I see him the next morning. I'm like, oh, you're a different human being. You have grown up so much in the last 24 hours.
Radcliffe's keen to protect his family's privacy, but he couldn't stop talking about his little boy.
I've got some very good photos of my son crawling around on this stage from months ago and then walking around on this stage more recently. And he's now at an age where he's just like drawn to anything that will harm him. Yes. So the like the rat traps and the bucket of sand. But it's a pretty cool place to be able to bring him.
You know, the theater will be really happy you mentioned the rat traps.
Look, we're in New York. It's an old building.
Here on the New York stage, Radcliffe has long proven he's more than just a boy wizard.
You haven't been afraid to sort of walk out on the edge.
Yeah, and I think I have the most fun and I'm at my best when I'm a little bit scared that it's all going to go horribly wrong at any minute.
And soon we're humming along.
In fact, he was still recovering from a recent performance of his big number, Franklin Shepherd Inc., that
Went really, really wrong the other night.
How did it go wrong?
I jumped a full 2 minutes of the song, and I just took my eye off the ball for a minute and was suddenly like, "Oh God, this is really a nightmare."
What did you do in that moment?
I stared at Jonathan Groff and I grabbed him so hard, like he was the only thing anchoring me to the planet.
What were you trying to say in that gesture?
Oh, nothing. It was. I think I genuinely felt like I might just disappear down a hole. But then, I mean. Sweat like I've never experienced before. Just sweat. I sit in the chair the whole number. I don't move. I was sweatier than I have been after full workouts.
Yeah, I'm sorry to make you relive that.
No worries. Thank you very much. You see it was happening in my eyes. I spent the rest of the show just being like, what's the point? I was really, Jonathan and Lindsay were having to really keep me going.
It's our time, breathe it in.
Radcliffe, Groff, and Mendez are all up for Tony Awards for Merrily We Roll Along.
How do you feel about the possibility of winning a Tony?
I am thrilled that we're all nominated. If you told me when I was coming out of Potter and not knowing what was going to happen next, that this would be happening one day, I don't think I would have dared to believe you. I'm more sort of ambivalent about my own winning. I will burn the building to the ground if Jonathan Groff doesn't win. But the best one, everyone else in the category is amazing. That is true, but I'm very biased here.
As one of my producers, Angelique Fisk, said, that's the first arson threat we've ever had in an interview. But, listen, the trio are absolutely fantastic together. There's a real magic between them and has been from the very beginning, according to Daniel.
You can't help but root for him, though. When you see, I love his vulnerability with you too, to talk about things that didn't go right. Most people don't want to share that kind of stuff.
And
I love that he did that.
The thing is, when you go to Broadway, everything looks so perfect all the time. You can't believe it. You don't even. You don't usually see that kind of. He actually asked me when he saw me, which performance did you see? Because he was afraid I'd seen that one. Oh. And, and you're mortified when you do something like that. But, he's, as you saw, he's taken risks. The dance risks he took for, How to Succeed in Business, extraordinary. Yes. And he's really become an incredible Broadway performer.
And that's what stands out to me is he was so accomplished as a young actor.
Yeah.
Could have easily just walked away. He decided to go to one of the most difficult places on earth, which is New York, get himself into Broadway, and do things that he said can go horribly wrong. How many times do we choose that path?
He could have walked away or gone a way easier path where people say nice things, you make a lot of money, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
He challenged himself.
Yeah, he sure did.
When he talked about editing, though, I love how you edited that piece. Forget about the dancing, cut to him dancing brilliantly. It was so good.
Yeah,
Anthony.
I love that footage. It's a great number, and he nailed it.
I love that piece. Now I want to go see that play.
It's good.
Thank you again, Anthony.
It's really good.
Thank you again.
Really good.
I will go see it.
It didn't work in 81. It works now.
Yes, I will go. Merrily We Roll Along. We highly recommend it. It is currently playing at the Hudson Theater. And you can watch the 77th Annual Tony Awards this Sunday, Nate, right here on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.